welcome back to Mo's World. I'm Mo. So this is the video we've been waiting for. This is part 2 to the series. So first, I just want to thank all returning subscribers to watch this video. Definitely appreciate all the love. And then also for any newbies, thank you for coming. It means a lot that you clicked on my video. And we truly do hope that you join the ride. If you could subscribe and then push the bell icon right beside it so you are alerted for any new videos. Okay, so before you start watching this video, please watch part 1. It's the first one in this 2-part series about me first time self-retightening my locks. The link will be in the description box below. So please watch that first because you may be duplicating questions that are already answered in that first video. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I wrote down my notes on sticky notes right here so I wouldn't forget. I know, a little tacky, but I just don't want to ramble, and I want to try to remember everything that kind of happened. Today is Monday, January 7th. So it is 6 days post my retightening. I know, guys, it's been busy. So I was like, tonight I'm gonna make this happen and we're just gonna roll with it. So it was a 2-day process. I did the back half the first day, and then that was New Year's Eve, and then on New Year's Day I did the front part. I did not fiddle around with the camera, so I did not get footage of me doing the front. I will discuss it, but just know I will get footage the next time I do the front. So with that, it took a total of 8 hours. I know, guys. I know that is a long time, but let me just say this. It was my first time. There were a lot of, there were some hiccups. There were a lot of lessons learned. Yeah, so we're going to discuss all that, So you don't have to make those same mistakes. And if you do, you don't feel bad about it because it's a part of the process. There's nothing wrong with it. And you got to get better somehow. You got to practice. So you just got to do it. I know typically when I watch people's videos and they were discussing about doing their hair, they always said the back was the hardest. For me, it was much easier to do the back than the front. The back, I was able to retighten it without looking at any mirrors. I think I looked in the mirror maybe once or twice for the entire process. It was just like, once you got that movement down, it was like cake, It was just like, it was more of getting the movement down versus anything. And retightening your hair, I would say it's difficult. It's just tedious. So I couldn't imagine having smaller locks that I do now. Like, I'm so happy that I have the number that I have because, everybody's different, but for me, I don't know, that is a bit much. So my base is bigger, so it was a lot easier to retighten it and not feel like I'm missing it or I'm about to get into another lock or another 2 locks because they're so close together. My locks are so small. I didn't have that issue as much. Is it still a concern about combining locks? Yes, regardless of your number. That is still always a concern, but I feel like I didn't have as much of a concern doing the back of my head without a mirror because my locks are a bit bigger. So the back, I just literally watched movies the entire time. That's how I was able to figure out how long it took me. Anytime I stopped retightening, I stopped the movie. When I started back retightening, I just started the movie. So I watched 3 movies and on my laptop, just chilling, doing my thing. The front, I had to look in the mirror the entire time. Yeah, it was just a different ball game. Even how I retightened was a little different. It was just different for me. For me, it was a bit more difficult learning the front versus doing the back. Like, for me, the back was just like, roll up your sleeves, get in there and do it. The front was like, ooh, hold up, can't use that same method, got to figure it out. And this is the reason why. The ones in the front, especially with SISTERLOCKS, the grid pattern is typically, they're a lot smaller in the front and they're closer together. So you just can't go in there willy-nilly. Like, you will combine locks. And then those locks are just, they're not hanging off of your scalp with as much hair, so the base is not as thick, so you just really can't afford as many issues in the front like you can in the back. And it's like, all right, it'll pull through, it's strong. The front is like, I can't mess those edges up, you know. I'm not trying to mess those edges up. So it was a different process, definitely different method, trial and error still, but we made it through. So I put a small knot in one of my front locks, and I couldn't get it out. So yeah, lesson learned. It's such a small lock, you can't even tell there's a knot. If I could try to probably find it, but it would take me a while. Like, it's not very obvious, like, at all. But when I did it, I realized, oh snap, your girl put a knot in the lock. And it's because I didn't pull it all the way through. I could not see, and just, it's so much smaller. With the bigger locks, you just know when you pulled it all the way through, you can feel it. But with the smaller locks in the front, I just couldn't feel it. So lesson learned, it's there, it is what it is, it's not going anywhere. But it's not obvious, nobody would ever know, but I may not even be able to find it again. But it's just, it was a lesson learned. I know that I have to do my front in front of the mirror. Another note, I said in the first video that I was going to use my spritzer and then like kind of spray my hair down before I retightened. I didn't do that. I actually did it on dry hair, and it was super simple to do it with dry hair. I personally will always do it with dry. I don't foresee myself wetting my hair, and this is why. My hair wet just curls up so much, and it would make it so much, to me, it would feel like it's much more difficult to try to make sure I'm getting in the right lock and not combining locks, because my hair likes to marry together when it gets wet and curly. So I just feel like it would make that process harder, especially since I'm not using a mirror in the back. So I didn't have any issues, no breakage issues or anything like that. It didn't feel too tight. I knew when I tightened it, the way it got tight to my scalp, that's how it was going to be, because it wasn't like it was going to shrink up after it dried. It was already dry. So it was easier for me to keep the lines clean and just keep maintenance going when it was on dry hair. So I kept my hair dry. I didn't spray my hair down or my scalp down until I was completely done with my retightening process. So that's what I did. All right, combining locks. Did it happen? Yep. It did. It did happen. Did I get them all uncombined? Yep. It just took patience. It took patience. It was trial and error. Some of them I didn't even figure out until I finished my entire head, and I just felt all the way through, and I was like, oops, did that. So some of them I did. For 2, I had to do a little snip. It wasn't bad because I was able to work it out enough that it wasn't like a lot of hair snip. But yeah, it happened. Was I like tretrified or like, oh my gosh? No, guys, it's hair. It will work itself out. Second reason, a lesson learned for combining locks. I think everybody up here has said it. If you are tired, don't try to persevere. Don't try to push through it. You will make a mistake. That's when I made my biggest mistakes, is when I was super tired. And it was like at the very end. I only had like 2 or 3 locks to be done. Like I was almost done with the back half. I was like, let's just do this. And that's when I had a snip. I was like, dang no. My last lock. Are you kidding me? So yeah, if you are tired, even if it's like a 15-20 minute break, just kind of get away from it. Go away, you come back, and you just feel refreshed. Even if it's just that little of a break, it just makes such a big difference. So I feel like next time, instead of just trugging through and just trying to make it happen as quickly as possible and not take breaks, it would be definitely more effective if I took breaks, like did it in like 2 to 3 hour increments and then took a break, or maybe just even 2 hour increments and then took a break and then kind of went from there, because I'd be more refreshed and I'd be able to get through it faster with less mistakes. So yeah. I need to get better duckbill clips. So like the longer ones that have smooth ends. I don't have a picture. If I find one online, then I'll insert it somewhere here. Another thing, invest in some little scissors. It could be like little shears from Sally's, whatever. I use my dad's to just kind of, when I need to snip a little bit, it was great with accuracy, and it's way too small to cut off a lock, if that makes sense. So I need to invest in one of those. I think I'm gonna get it from either Sally's or Walmart. But that was definitely a lifesaver, having that, and then having somebody else cut it for me because I couldn't see in the back of my head. So that's that. All right, the review for the tools. Let's talk about the tools. All right, we'll start with the O-Locker tools. This mini didn't even touch my head. It's way too small. I don't have micro size locks. Like, they're just not small like that. This bad boy didn't even touch my hair. I looked at it, I put it up to my head, and I said, there's just no way. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier, but it didn't happen. So that being said, little plug, if you made it in this far for the video, congrats. I'm giving this away. So if you want this, please comment below, and then my next video, I will announce the giveaway winner. This is the O-Locker tool mini size, okay? Or micro size. I'm saying mini, but it's not mini. It's called micro size interlocking tool. I'm giving it away. Please comment below if you want it. That's all you have to do. Just comment below. All right, so I'm putting that to the side. The small size one, I started off with this. This is what cost me, I'd say, about a good hour of my time trying to figure out if this was going to work for me, because I really do like how it's shorter and there is a curve, and it just seems so much easier to work. But y'all, it's too small. It's too small. This worked for like the very smallest ones on the perimeter of my hair and the front only. I tried it in the back. It just took forever to try to thread it through. I'm like, my ends are much bigger. It's just, it was a headache. I wasted an hour trying to make this thing work. So I'm going to keep it because it works for the front perimeter of my head. And I do like that. But yeah, I wasted an hour trying to make this work for everything. So this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about getting this in a medium or large size because I really do like the design of this tool. It's just too small for my locks. So I'm looking to probably get the medium or the large. So stay tuned for that. And my plan is to get it before I retighten again. And then I'll show you how that goes, okay? All right, the smaller tool for the Lion Locks interlocking tool. This was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was able to put it on my locks, if you looked in the previous video, and it was just able to hang. Like, I was able to walk around and do stuff, and it never came off at all. So this baby worked for me. My only tidbit is that I love that it has a curve. It has a curvature. It's not as much as the O-Locker tool, but it does its job. It's just so long, so I had to be extra careful not to combine my locks, although, I mean, it did happen here and there, but a lot of that was trial and error, like user error. But I feel like if the tool was shorter, it would have been a lot easier to make sure I did combine my locks. So I am still a big fan of this tool. I just think this tool, along with a bigger O-Locker tool, will complete my set, and I will be squared away with the tools I need for my locks to make it a lot easier and faster to retighten my hair. So big fan of this one. This is the smaller tool that they claim that works for micro locks and sister locks. It definitely worked for my hair. I absolutely loved it. So that's that. If you didn't know, when I retightened my hair, it was at the 4.5 week marker. My locks were honestly looking great. I wouldn't have retightened them then, but I wanted to do it because I had a schedule I needed to keep, just because I'm about to be in a wedding next month. It's my best friend's wedding, and I'm the matron of honor, and I just wanted to have a clean look before then, but I wanted to practice and give myself enough time to be able to do another retightening before the wedding. So it actually worked towards, for my benefit, because I didn't have a lot of new growth to have to work with to figure out how to even self-retighten. So that was very, very helpful. So this is what I want to do. For all of my hair, I'm going to wait 8 weeks to do my retightening. My base is thick enough. It's enough strands to be strong enough to last 8 weeks and not have any issues, like, at all. But the perimeter, like the first 3 rows or so, they are my smallest locks. And I would not feel comfortable waiting 8 weeks to be able to retighten those. I am going to retighten those every 4 weeks. Because when I was retightening them, I forgot to say this. For most of my hair, I did maybe 1 full rotation, 1.5. For the front, I easily did, and like even with the 1.5, sometimes it was a little forced, and it was like, ooh, don't want to do that next time. I'm learning. But for the perimeter in the front, like the first 3 rows, I easily got 3 rotations with 2 rotations with no issues, and that was at the 4.5 week marker. So I'm looking to do the perimeter every 4 weeks, and then the rest of my hair every 8 weeks. So it will end up coinciding, because if I'm doing this every 4 weeks, then it will always end up being on my 8 week marker as well. So I end up just doing these twice, and then the rest of my hair once within the 8 week time frame. So that's what I'm looking at doing. I started at the beginning of the year. It's perfect time to start the calendar and start that schedule. So yeah. So moment you've been waiting for it, let me show you guys my hair. Okay, so I've been putting it up because y'all, my scalp does much better when I put up my hair, and my scalp retains more of its moisture. So that's just kind of how I do. But let me take it down. Oof. So y'all, this is what my hair is looking like. Sorry, it's been up, so I gotta bring it down. Look at these lines, y'all. Your girl did it. That's what we're looking at. I am so pumped, so excited that I was able to make this happen, and I'm so thankful that I was able to bring y'all along for the ride. Thank you for all of your encouragement, your love and support, because you really are the one who pushed me over the edge to have the confidence to be able to do this, and not only just to do it, but to film it and show you guys for the first time. Typically, I would have been like, no, let me show you the next time after I've somewhat mastered this, but yep, just went all in, and I just thank you guys. So thank you for watching. Again, if you do want the micro size O-Locker tool, please comment below and I will give this away. Yeah, so that's that. Thank you guys for watching. Please come back again for the next video. And until next time, I hope this video finds you blessed. Take care. Bye.